to the No State Project live from the fortified compound in Mesa, Arizona. It is episode 45 already of the Wednesday YouTube stream. It's December 13th, 2017. Glad to be with you here from the fortified compound in Mesa, Arizona. And I appreciate all the support of the show. Of course, the show is brought to you by Chris E.L. Nelson. I don't want to leave too many people out here, but I do appreciate the support. If you'd like to support the show, you go to markstevens.net. And I say that they're predators, those who call themselves government, because they force everyone to pay them. They do not do business on a voluntary basis. They don't do things like normal people do. I know seemingly normal people seem to, but they doing business on a normal, rational basis is by persuasion and selling a product and giving the value that trading the value that you're actually saying you're trading. So one of the things I want to discuss real quick, I'm not, there seems to be this whole thing on, it always rears its ugly head. I think that people who call themselves ANCAPs or anarcho-capitalists, they fetishize to a large degree, not all of them, but a lot of them seem to fetishize the idea of property, that property is the be-all, end-all of human sociology or interaction. And to a point where they believe that the body is property, and some will justify abortion, actually killing a baby, because it is somehow a squatter, that it's a trespasser on the mother's property. And given that it's your property, you could do whatever the hell you want. It's where you get the analogy that you're invited into someone's airplane, you're 25,000 feet up in the air, and the owner of the plane, who's got absolute disposal of his property, could turn around and just throw your ass right out of a plane because it's his property and you're no longer one. You did nothing. So it's this fetish making a property to be the absolute be-all, end-all of human interaction. Like, you don't get to murder people just because it's your property, because if you believe that his body is his property, you may not use your property in a manner that will hurt somebody else's property. So the idea that a baby, for example, or someone in a plane is a trespasser, and that is carte blanche ability, well, it's my property, I can do whatever the hell I want. No! Stop fetishizing property. It does not justify immoral or unethical behavior. I can't believe that people who are otherwise normal and turn around and call themselves anarchists will justify killing and taking an innocent life because you're saying that it's a trespasser on someone's property. Does anyone else think that after the 400-year history of the United States, that the idea of human beings, men, women, and children being property, that's not abhorrent? The idea that your body, I own myself. Is your body really property to be traded? Is it really a damn commodity like everything else? Just slap a damn brand on it and sell it? I have a very difficult time accepting the proposition that your body is property. No. You may be in control of it, but does that make it property? And just because it's your property, does that mean you get to do whatever the hell you want? That if you have another body inside of yours, that you could just say, trespasser, I can kill it. I don't get to kill someone because I invite them into my home and then decide that I don't want them there anymore. If they're threatening my life, yeah, that's self-defense. But this this thing of making property be absolute, that you can violate the non-aggression principle because you declared them a trespasser, it just seems wrong. It is not a blank check to do whatever the hell you want. I reject that. It's my property, I can do whatever the hell I want. Really? Killing people? I don't think so. I think it's just wrong. Taking innocent life is taking innocent life. You can dress it up and say that this innocent baby or fetus is trespassing, but wow. Remember, words are supposed to mean something. When you call a baby a trespasser, I just have a real problem with the concept of people as property. I don't think we need to take the concept of property that sickening far to that such a sickening degree. To me, it's almost no different than saying somebody can own a continent. Really? Really? I was here first. I remember doing it as a kid. You just claim it. You're going to claim, it's like calling the front seat in a car. I got there first. Oh, that means you can exclude everybody else from use of this property? All of a sudden, it's okay for you to use violence and threats of violence because you were there first? What are we, in 5th grade? No, I completely reject this idea that somebody can just label a baby a trespasser. Carte blanche, regardless of the circumstances. A trespasser, I can kill you if I want to get you out of here. Give me a break. It's supposed to be about do no harm. Do no harm. It's only self-defensive force is morally and ethically justified. Self-defensive force. That's not a difficult concept to grasp. Apparently, for some people who fetishize property, it is. Do no harm. It's really simple. Oh, I get to harm somebody if they're on my property and I just arbitrarily decide that I don't want them to be there anymore. Give me a break. Do no harm comes first. So all these stupid alt-right jokes about take them for a helicopter ride. Fungal with that crap. Do no harm is the principle we should be living our life by. Self-defensive force is the only morally justified force. So I want to answer a quick question here. I know we're starting to get lined up with calls. Who asked me this question? Brian asked me this question regarding where do you go if you want to file a claim against Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, the municipality, not the county. If you want to file a claim against their insurance because one of their employees has hurt you. And I'll have this link in the video. And the graphic for the Office of the City Administrative Officer in Los Angeles. It is, I'm not going to give out, you could just look here for the URL. That's where I would start. So it looks like here on risk management, the City of Los Angeles is to be protected to the maximum extent feasible against loss or liability, which would significantly affect personnel, property, finances, or the ability of the city to continue to fulfill its responsibilities to the taxpaying public. Hey, the first responsibility you should have to the public is to do no harm, is to don't force the entire community to give you money. Don't have a prison system, especially a damn prison system that pits prisoners against each other in a gladiator-style fight. Good Lord. What is it really? Seriously? Is the concept of do no harm really that complicated? Okay, so that's where we would start. They may have a claim form on there, and what I still need to do this. I need to get a template because we know the basic principle. We know the basic steps that are going to happen that are going to lead up to someone like Brian or myself filing a claim. So it'll make it easier for people to just fill in the blanks and file the claim. So somebody had posted on, actually a good comment on the YouTube channel, which of course is No State Project, where they witnessed somebody in court today who was using my motion to dismiss, which is markstevens.net. And they said that the judge said that the motion shifted the burden to the moving party, which is the motion to dismiss, and that now they had to prove that the prosecution did not establish jurisdiction. Well, and that the burden had shifted to the movement. That's really not true. So we have Jermaine, but he says he's got good news. I certainly hope so. We've got Jermaine up there in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Welcome back to the show. What's the good news, eh?
Yeah, well, I just went to bail forfeiture hearing today, and they actually gave back $1,100 that they stole from me previously. $100 was when I bailed myself out, and then $500 my girlfriend had bailed me out. and another 500 my dad had bailed me out. And we went there to the bail forfeiture court, and since that all the charges that were stayed, they really had no grounds to pursue me for the bail money itself. So yeah, they threw it out. They dropped the bail forfeiture today.
Excellent. So congratulations. So we can confidently say that they did stay the prosecution, and so now that they've given the bail back, it's pretty much in stone that they're not pursuing this prosecution anymore. They've dropped it.
That's right.
Very nice. Good job.
Yes, thank you. I was very excited. It feels good. We're gonna probably go skiing or something with that catch.
Play some hockey.
It feels. Yeah, play some hockey. You know what? I haven't played hockey in many years. I know I live in this place called Canada, but that's another stereotype. I don't think all Canadians play hockey.
Yeah, I figured I would just throw that out in an effort to be funny. So. Okay, we failed on that one.
So I have a question. No, I have a question. What's
Sure.
a fortified compound?
What about?
Yeah, what's a fortified compound?
What's a fortified compound?
Yeah, every time you come on your show, you're like, it's Marc Stevens calling from the fortified compound. Are you just talking about your house, or?
Yeah, it's just it's something that just started where it was sarcasm, and it started because people like us are characterized different by mainstream media, because the mainstream media, now I'm not saying that they're all fake news, but they have a way of spinning things, and they do have an agenda, and that agenda is to, basically prop up their partner, which is the government. The people called government. This criminal organization, criminal because they force everyone to pay them. And I have shown on the show, I've got directly from the gatekeepers' mouths themselves on markstevens.net, where even though I had politicians themselves saying that there was no evidence of jurisdiction, or they have jurisdiction because they say so, would not run the information. They didn't care. They just didn't give a damn. They would not do that. So one of the things that they had done with the Ed and Elaine Brown prosecution, I believe that was up in New Hampshire, was to paint them, because they were not, let's say they were anti-government, or the concept of government. They had to paint them in the worst light possible. So instead of saying that they lived in a house, they said that they were in a fortified compound. And so I just thought that I would use that sarcastically, and it just became a part of the opening of the show.
Oh, okay, I see. That's clever.
They described their basement as a dungeon.
Right.
This was a middle-aged couple who were not accused of any violence whatsoever. It was taxing, it was a tax charge. So mm-hmm. I still do that because, again, I'm not one of these Trump guys, fake news. I know that there's heavy bias in the media, and I can prove that. I know for a fact that they will not fact check stories given to them by the U.S. Attorney's Office. They told me directly. And someone that I'm friends with was a victim of that. They put his name on Fox News on the East Coast, mm-hmm. on two mm-hmm. stations. They did no fact checking. I gave them all the information for them to retract that part of the story as it related to Dennis. They did nothing. This is Fox News, and there was another local ABC station, I believe it was ABC, one of the major things. That's one of many examples to show that they're extremely biased in favor of government. That's the thing. How in the world could you call yourself a credible news organization when you take information that directly affects private people and could destroy their lives and do no fact-checking at all? Then, when you're given the opportunity and you have the hardcore evidence directly from the government agents themselves, contradicting the story they put out on Fox News, and you don't retract it, You don't even get something on the website. Oh, by the way, we're sorry for helping to destroy innocent people's lives. Sorry for propping up the comptroller, the currency in Maryland, who is a demonstrable lying scumbag. No. So I know that there is extreme bias, and now that's just my way of poking, of showing that.
Well, thanks, because I've been wondering ever since I started listening to your show what the heck that means. So,
wow, I'm surprised that anybody who's listened to the show for a long period of time does not remember that or did not know that. But hey, I'll have to repeat that occasionally and realize that not everyone follows every show and knows the basis of silly things like that.
Yeah, you were talking at the beginning of the show about property. What was it, property or private property or whatever?
Yeah.
I always contemplate this issue as well, because I think to be free, you should have, you should have property. You got, I wouldn't call it a right, but you go and you work and you buy something and it's yours. But the thing is, yeah, like you said, when people put that above the non-aggression principle, is where I agree with you whatsoever. But yeah, that was very interesting that you touched on that subject. I just thought I would mention that out. Because I always wondered, I was like, should we even get into property? Because once you start saying, oh, it's private property and I have exclusive rights to this, then that creates crime right there, because then people want to take. You have people who just want to take because they can't have or whatever, or they don't have. And then, you're willing to shoot this person because they come and steal your thing that really doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to internet blustering. I have the internet tough guys say all sorts of vile, horrible, hateful stuff about me. But I really doubt if I was standing, 3 feet away from them that they would hurl such insults at me. And I'm not saying that because I would just hold off and punch them in the face. No, I just think, and it's been shown that people troll much better with anonymity when they're 8,000 miles away. It's a lot easier to call me a scammer on the internet when you don't have to back it up. When I'm not right there in your face, when I'm not there just a few feet away to defend myself. And that's exactly why someone like Wes Serra is a gutless coward, because he will never address me in real time. He will never give me the opportunity to actually question him and show just just how dishonest a person is. So they do it all, they do it there. So I don't think these people would actually, maybe some of them, but I don't think these narco-capitalist tough guys are really having the guts and have the psychopathic drive to really throw somebody out of an elevator because they disagree with him on economics. I don't really believe that they would murder somebody or shoot somebody dead because they decided for no reason, because they don't need one. You're in my home. I've arbitrarily determined you're not welcome here anymore, and if you're not out of here right now, I have every right to shoot you. I mean, that's bordering on what the cops do. That if you don't listen to me, like that piece of garbage here in Mesa, if you don't listen to my dictates, I can shoot you. And I see a huge parallel there between these so-called anarchists or ANCAPs who think that you can use physical violence against somebody because it's your property. No, things are not that black and white. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness they're not.
Your example was really good. When you said, if you're on a plane, if you go on somebody's plane, and at some point they decide that they don't like you or whatever, could they throw you off the plane? And well, the obvious answer is no. But this is the problem, right?
Well, right, and
how you say, like, these people, yeah, these trolls. I was having a problem with them. Actually, there was a couple of them started coming through the chat. We're trying to role play in there. And they're talking about things that are not even, I think one time there was a guy talking about mathematics. I was into the conversation too. I was like, mathematics, yeah, it's pretty basic. I think it's one of the most basic things operating in nature. And his conclusion was that it's a man-made thing and whatnot. And I said, well, if it's man-made, then where's the evidence of that? Using the Socratic method on him. Of course, he didn't like that. He flipped out, and it was just like that. It's just like you said, the way he talked to me and the things he said, I know damn right that if I was there in his face, he would not say that.
Well, I mean, I've been against hardcore statists, and what they typically do, someone like Gerald Wilhelm, who is a prosecutor up in Minnesota. He would never physically attack me. He would never get in my face and address me directly. He's too much of a coward to actually address me directly, man to man, in an intellectual conversation. He can't do that. So his violence comes from screaming like a little girl that he's under attack, so that the automatons with guns can do the violence and intimidation for him. But if you look at the reasons why a lot of ANCAPs will say, it's my body because I own it, I'm in control, you can say the same thing about animals. Animals have conscious control of their bodies. They can take data from hearing and seeing and feel, and they can make determinations of fight or flight. If humans own their body, don't animals own their body? And you can't possibly say IQ enters into it, because people with Down syndrome and whatnot would have to own their own body. So why isn't that not extended to animals? The same conditions practically, almost down the line apply. But you can slap a damn brand on a cow, call it yours, abuse it, and kill it to make a profit. But I thought the body was your the whole thing is just, I'm Jermaine, I can't and I know. Who am I? I'm some pasty white guy. Who am I to talk about something like that? But the thing is, I just can't accept people as property. I don't think the concept of property extends to people.
Neither can I, and that was the most memorable part of the whole situation that I went through, was that thing, like just being treated. But these people honestly perceive that you are their property. Like how when they arrested me, I had when I was pulled over, when they took me out of the cruiser, these cops, had my hands behind my back in the handcuffs, and instead of allowing me to get out, what did they do? They picked me up by my arms that were behind my back and literally threw me out of the cruiser onto the concrete, like just on my face and on the side of my body and everything. Like picked me up and threw me. And then just going through the courts and having these people sitting up on that bench who think that they own you too, and how they talk down to you and all this stuff. And that's just it. The mentality that they have in their head is that they own you, that there is such thing as human property, and then that you're some kind of, whatever, free man in land, OPC litigant or whatever. They want to stigmatize you like you're wrong for saying, hey, look, I don't think that I'm your property, and I would like to see, any evidence of that claim, because that's always what they're claiming. And I've told them from day one, I was like, hey, some people might be into that. They might want to be somebody's property, but I don't. So show me the evidence.
Well, there are situations that people agree to subject themselves to other people, and it's perfectly fine. There's people who are into bondage and discipline, that type of sexual, action. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, they're agreeing. There are people that are MMA fighters. There are boxers. People who engage in wrestling. They are agreeing to this. Okay, but as far as humans being property, I think the human body is above, and even more, because people say, well, property is sacred. I think the human body is a level above ordinary property. I don't think it's property, and I think it should be held in more esteem than a computer or something like that. To me, kind of debases the importance of your body, because it's all you have, and you only get one. And as far as we know, we only get one round at this. So I think it's cheapening the how sacrosanct, whatever word we want to use, how special and that the body really is. I guess people who think it's okay to abort non-viable fetuses, just let it die. They're using words to get away from the consequence of their actions. It's no different than what Spooner said about corporations. Corporations, the idea, these legal fictions, all the entire basis of it is to rid yourself of the real-world consequences of your actions. That's it.
Yeah.
I agree. And this idea, I'm getting drowned in. I'm getting a lot of calls, and I do appreciate that. I'm glad you did call. And so, if there's someone who disagrees with me, give me. I'm more than happy to discuss this. But I'd like to hear where somebody could say it's okay to harm someone just because you say that they're on their property.
Yeah, no, that's what they do because they, not only are they a corporation. From my viewpoint, I have evidence. I strongly believe that they are a corporation. I mean, you can go to the Security Exchange Commission and pull. I've done that. I see Canada right there with their tax number, and even when they write legislation, like if they pass a new law, they amend it right there on the United States Security Exchange Commission as an asset. So it is a corporation, and then you have these people that are operating in this capacity, and also they're like representing. It's like they're they're not even that corporation; they're just representatives. So they are able to go and cause harm and not be held accountable, and that's the biggest problem, I think.
It's not me; it's the state. Or I'm just doing my job. If you have a problem, change the policy. Exactly. And yes, they've always operated as corporations.
Telling me to leave if I don't like the rules, then I should leave.
If you don't want to be if you don't want to be raped, if you don't want to be robbed, get the hell out of here. But you're not even letting us leave. You need permission to leave. I love that whole thing. But you need permission to leave. You can't. And I'm not going to listen to this Freeman garbage that says that anybody can get on a plane without a passport. And you cannot get on a plane in the United States that is going to Canada without a passport. You used to be able to do that before 9/11. But you couldn't take a plane from, let's say, Sky Harbor here in Phoenix and fly to Paris without a passport. You need permission to leave.
And then you need permission to enter by the place that you're getting into.
Exactly.
Well. Don't forget about that because, that's what happened to me. I was stopped. I was actually traveling to Mexico. And because I had, Canada okayed me to leave, but since I was on a layover in the United States, they stopped me at customs and they didn't want me to enter their so-called country. So it's not only that you need permission to leave, then you need permission to, from whoever so-called owns that place that you're going to.
Yeah.
And then you need permission from the bank because you need enough currency to support whatever lifestyle you're going to be doing. So
that's right. Yeah. That's right. So this idea, if you don't like my immoral behavior, leave. And the idea that just because I choose to stay, that somehow makes the immoral behavior moral, that's crazy. That's crazy town. Hey, I appreciate the call, Jeremiah. I do, and congratulations. I think that's great information, and somebody. I know some other people want to get in touch with you, so hopefully they're able to, and you can give them a bit more information about what you were doing to get these charges thrown out.
Yeah, I'm in the chat all the time. No
All right.
Province Project.
Sounds good. Yes, and anybody who wants to get into the No State Project chat can do so instantly by going to markstevens.net and hitting the link for the Skype chat right there, and you can get in. And I do highly recommend that you get in there, and then you can let the guys know you need to do some role playing, and they'll help you out. Guys like Jermaine, who have been through it many times before and know what to expect, so they can help you out. So I appreciate the call, Jermaine.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Take care.
Be good. We're going to go, I think this is Las Vegas, but I've been wrong. Well, with cell phones now, you never know. But we got area code 702. You're live on the No State Project. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, it's Jose. I'm calling from Las Vegas.
Right, I thought so. What's your name?
Jose.
Jose. What can I do for you today, Jose?
Okay, Mark. So I have this stupid case in California, right? So let me give you a little bit of background of the story, and because I'm a big fan of yours, and I totally believe the government by consent, and government even exists. But anyway, so I was living in California for about 3 months. I got a pretty good job over there. So I bought this RV and I parked it in, I parked it in an RV park. So I wasn't planning to stay in California for too long. So I have this roommate that I invited to live with me, right? So we could share the rent. I mean, the RV was pretty spacious. I mean, we had our own place, to ourselves. That way we can economize. So I don't know. One day I was going to go to, when was it? About a month ago. I was going to TSA. I had a pre-check set up so I could, basically, go faster in line through the airport. So that morning, I think he was upset or something. He just started beating me up out of nowhere, right? So I'm torn up, bruised up. My shirt basically, all my shirts are basically all torn up. So anyway, so I call 911. They take about 15 minutes. I'm running away from this guy now. So I'm carrying a gun because I always carry a gun. I was assaulted in San Francisco, so I said I'm never again, going out without a weapon again. I'm over here from Las Vegas.
Let me see if I understand. Wait, real quick, Jose. You took a gun. Was this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Was this concealed?
Yeah.
You took a concealed weapon into a airport in California?
No. Let me stop you right there. No, this is coming out of my house. I'm not going to the airport. Nothing like that. This happened. The airport is in Oakland. I live like 45 minutes from Oakland. So I'm going into my vehicle where this guy just basically starts punching the crap out of me.
Oh, okay.
I can't even get to my vehicle.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
This guy.
I thought you were saying that the TSA agent was beating you up.
No, well, I had my appointment to go to TSA.
I got it.
To basically pre-screen myself, so that way I can get the TSA pass, pay for that stuff, so I can do pre-check and just go through the airport. Because I had a couple of trips planned up, for this 2 months and next year. So I was going to do a lot of traveling by air. So anyway, no, I didn't take no gun to the airport, nothing like that. This is all on the premises by of the RV park where we're renting.
And who was this? Who was this guy? Did you know this guy before, or is it just some guy who ran up and just started beating the hell out of you?
No, that was my roommate.
Jeez, and he knew you were armed?
Yes.
Okay.
He knows that I carry. And he knew that. I had a license from Kansas, concealed carry license. You don't need it in Kansas. It's like the same laws apply in Arizona. You don't need a license to carry. I mean,
you need a license you need a license to carry in Arizona concealed. You don't need a license to carry in Arizona if it's just in view.
Okay. Well, I had a license to carry in Kansas State. Okay. So this all happened, of course. All these events happened in California. So anyway, so I call 911. I'm telling dispatch about the situation, how I'm all torn up, bruised up. The guys basically, continue chasing after me. And so the deputies show up. They park into the RV. The deputy sheriff show up. They park into the RV, and they just come at me, and they're like, okay, we're going to frisk you to see if you have any weapons on you. And he went right to where I had my my weapon, right? And he's like, is that a gun? He's like, don't effing move. That's what he says, don't effing move. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I'm the one that called you guys. Get your hands behind your back. You don't make any sudden moves. I was like, okay. So I get arrested, falsely imprisoned. I'm the one that's calling. I'm the one that's bruised up. The guy's sitting on my backpack that I was carrying because he basically pulled it and tore it off my back. And the guy has no scratch or anything. I mean, common sense says that, you see somebody beat up, that's usually, 90% chance that that's the victim, right? No, they take his false claim. I get arrested. Of course, I bail out.
What did they charge you with?
For supposedly, I pointed a gun at him and I assaulted him armed, with with my gun. I was like, why in the hell would I call, excuse the language, but I was like, why would I call 911 if I would have pulled out the gun on this guy? So wouldn't that make any sense?
Well, I got to tell you, hearing this, usually calling 911 is only going to escalate the situation and make it worse. And if you're in California carrying concealed, it's no surprise that they're charging you. It's just like in a domestic case. The guy could have scratches, he could be bleeding, he could be half unconscious. Guess who's going to jail? Someone's getting arrested, and it's most of the time it's going to be the male.
So anyway,
the equivalent is you're the guy with the concealed weapon. So it's California. I mean, it's if you were in Kansas, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
I know there's a joke there about not being in Kansas anymore. I mean, I'll spare everybody.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so we're running out of time, so we really need to fast forward. Wait. We're running out of time fast, so I need you to get to the,
Okay. So I'll go through the events really quick. So I go to court, show up to court, and I show up with, I sent out a motion to dismiss, an affidavit of claim, to the court. Everybody got delivered within 2 days, and I had to certify mail everything, right? And basically a rescission of my signature for the for getting for the contract that they give you to get out of jail. So that's valid. That's a legal valid document that once notarized, they have to accept it.
To take your
to court.
Well,
that judge looks at it. He looks at all the documents. Right. I filed a motion to dismiss for lack of evidence.
Okay, I'm glad for that.
And so, anyways. So I filed a motion to dismiss and to basically quash the whole case for lack of evidence. The guy didn't show up to court, so she's like, "Is Jose here?" I'm like, "Well, I have a special appearance document, and on the record." And she's like, "No, Jose's not here." She just basically punched the gavel, tells the clerk, issue a warrant for non-appearance. I'm like, "Hey, did you see the document?" She's like, And then so the bailiffs come at me and they're like, "You can either sit down or leave." I just got up and left.
Okay, real quick. Wait, Jose.
Yeah.
What in the world was your affidavit of claim about?
For false imprisonment. Basically, I stated exactly the events that happened very shortly, very briefly. How these the deputies basically took my roommate's false statement, and I got arrested. And I got imprisoned, for a false claim that somebody else placed on me, basically saying that I assaulted them. Now, the warrant that I have on me now basically says that I have a $100,000 warrant for no show, and they basically removed the assault charge on me, but they added something different that has to do with carrying a weapon. Basically, none of these three charges have corpus delicti on it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I wouldn't have done the affidavit of claim at that point. If you have a claim for kidnapping and false imprisonment, I would get this thing thrown out first, and then I would file with the city's insurance or the county's insurance. I wouldn't have done it in that manner.
Okay.
And it's not a contract anyway. It's at best an adhesion contract, which really isn't a contract anyway. Rescinding a contract, if you can show that, they're not going to release you. They're actually they're saying, look, if you don't pay X amount of money, we're going to keep you here. Yeah, that's pretty unfair. That's criminal. But have they made a decision?
That's what I sent back to them.
But, okay, so you have a warrant for your arrest that they issued for not showing up, even though you were in the courtroom at the time.
That's right. And I even filed I went to make sure to file copies of the same affidavit and the same, motion with the clerk that same morning, before entering the courtroom. Because just to be sure that they had those. And they stamped them for me. So when I called the clerk later on, after I left the courthouse, the Superior Court, I guess they call it Superior Court in California. Anyway, so... You know what she said, the clerk? Oh, just to let you know, they just issued a warrant for your arrest. you were here. I mean, what happened? How come you didn't go to court? I was like, I was in court.
All right. To try to get. All right. So what you're looking at? I'm sorry. We're very short on time. I've got a line of callers. So what I'll say initially here is you need definitely a motion to quash the warrant and show that the judge is lying and falsified the record, issued a false warrant because you were there. And so if you can, there's going to be video proof, and I would go get a statement from the clerk and see if she'll sign that, and that you can use as evidence that you were there. So that's where I would start with that. A motion to quash the warrant, and I would put in there that the judge is lying. This is no different than what that Herbert Pierpan did in Scottsdale against Mike. The only difference is he just put it in as a default judgment and Mike wasn't there. He lied through his teeth. He was there and he threatened Mike. He threatened me. And amazingly enough, it survived appeal. They still held that Mike wasn't there. But here, there's a warrant for your arrest. It's pretty damn serious. So I would certainly get a motion to quash it as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. So I'm waiting on the court records for all the documents that they filed. The prosecutors and the sheriffs, and basically the police statement, and then just basically go from there.
You've got enough. Even without a statement from the clerk, you be able to show this video footage of you in the building and in the court. There's going to unless they've destroyed it, like the cops like to do. You were there. And this is why, again, if we can have someone with us that can sign an affidavit, this is when an affidavit is actually appropriate. When they pull this crap, then you can have a witness as a media rep, for example, that, look, he was there. He was there. Hopefully this doesn't become a trend, or it's not a trend already, where they do this Pierpan crap and just say you're not there. Because typically when you hear something like that, when they do that, it's people playing that stupid name game, that sovereign bull crap. That I'm the administrator for the name. Well, are you him? Are you John Doe? No, I am the administrator. Well, if John Doe is not here, issue warrant for his arrest and get this idiot out of here. Then I can see, but that's not what you're doing. Because they deserve to have the warrant issued against them in that case.
Orange game, I would not have shown up.
Yeah, well,
the reason I filed the motion for special appearance was to be sure that the laws of California do not apply to me, because at the end of the day, I don't have any contracts with the state of California whatsoever. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have anything that validate. There's no evidence that says nothing.
Okay, but the thing is, I've got to get to another caller after this. There is no the driver's license, tax returns. They're not trying to contract with you. Having contact with the forum state is totally different than saying that there's a contract. So. They try to say that you have to have contact with the forum state, and that's a different issue. But the idea that they're trying to contract with you, there's not a shred of evidence to prove that. There's a mountain of evidence against it because nothing had to do with your consent. They weren't trying to trick you. I can't believe we got this on another show. But Jose, I got to go. Get with me off air, and I can help you if you need it on a motion to quash that warrant.
All right, thanks.
Okay, appreciate the call. That was Jose in Las Vegas. And real quick, when you got something like that, when they're pulling this crap that you're not there, in some way, part of me is like walk up and punch the prosecutor right in the face. So now you've got evidence to show the judge was issuing a false warrant. But then, it's not, I'm not saying do that, but maybe throw a chair across it, something to make so that there's an incident report that you were there, so we can take that warrant and you can shove it right up. Lying snake. What I need, maybe Jose is able to send me the name of that judge. Let's get it. Maybe there's a picture of this piece of garbage online. Lying snake. All right, we don't have too much time left. I'm going to try to get to as many calls as I can. He's been on the show before. We've got Eric in New York. Eric, welcome back to the big broadcast.
Hey, how you doing? How's everyone going? Mark?
We're doing good. What do you got for us today?
Well, this is a little bit different. There's no police involved, no courts, no ticket, no judge, no DA. But let's say New York State Thruway and the what is it? What's the downstate thing? MTA Metro Train. Yeah. So through their Easy Pass, they're sending me threatening letters for basically one is a $5 toll. They want that $5 plus $100. And then there's a $25 toll. They're looking for $300 on it. So yeah, they're asking for $30. They're asking for $400. So tolls by mail. This is a new thing, right? And I've been away, so I had I've been checking my mail. So they're saying here, let's see, our records indicate that you failed to respond by tolls by mail, blah blah blah, Tappan Zee Bridge, and this payment. We're going to send a non-payment. We're going to collection, revoke your license, blah blah blah. Yeah, basically, how am I supposed to pay it when I've been, not even in the state and in another country? These people are asinine, insane. This must be a new scam. I don't know if you've heard of this crap yet.
This is I don't remember, but I may have, and just I get so much crap every day that there are actually people who are commenting on my YouTube channel that I'm a Mason because of the G behind me. So I gotta deal with this. I gotta see these ridiculous. So I actually answered. I said, "Is the G in the middle of a compass and square? What is wrong with people?"
Yeah, man. There's no hope for this.
Yeah. So some people are so conspiratorial and so Alex Jones minded that everything's a damn conspiracy. That somebody doing a one-man internet show, evidenced by the fact that I have to reach over and reset my camera because I don't have a remote. Yeah, I'm being funded by the Masons. I'm a fungal. My wife's name is let me just answer this real quick. My wife's name, for people who listen to the show, is Gina. So do you understand now what the hell that G is? You know what? Anyone who thinks I'm a Mason and thinks that G is a Mason turn off the broadcast. I don't need people like this in my life. What a stupid, stupid thing to focus on. Oh, Mark Stevens is a Mason. He's got a G back there. Oh,
I know.
So,
God forbid you hold your hand in the wrong pose and kind of, oh God, it's just Illuminati.
I have a shirt that is from Vans, and I even made a joke about it on the show because and not that I'm a fan of the store or anything like that, or the shoes or anything, but right there on the shirt there was the part of it's got an all-seeing eye. Oh
yeah.
It's like, people get a grip. Not everyone's a Mason, and most Masons are probably good, decent people, just like the Shriners.
I mean, my neighbor's a Mason. Is he a 33? Like they say. I mean, I don't fracking know. Listen, people could talk. I have people. I was in the military, and I have people that let's put it that way, a bit Italian. So but I mean, if you can connect dots and show my government connection, or some Mason or a Jew in my family, or let's connect the dots.
Well, there was one popular podcast that was going on, and it was an interesting thing that the entire music of the '60s, the whole thing was engineered by the CIA, the entire thing. And so they were trying to make it out.
Single track.
Yeah, well, they're saying that. Okay. Why are so many of these musicians like Jim Morrison? And that is an interesting connection, although that is. But they're saying, well, why all these musicians? All their fathers were in the military. They were born in the '40s. Everyone's father was in the military from the '40s.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, if you have a connection to Santa Cruz, you must be CIA. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Hey, I've had conversations with John Grinder. I wanted him on the show. I have back here. I have an autographed picture of one of his most recent books. He wrote a note to me, which I treasure. Does that mean? Does that mean? I mean, am I? I think.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You're a controlled opposition. You're a co-intelligence.
Yeah, I'm the poorest. Money-wise, their so-called controlled opposition. That's right. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So Alex Jones has over 1 million subs and has millions of views every day practically. I'm scratching and clawing for 10K. So
no. I mean, you know what? I had a conversation on a radio I did this the other day, and I mean, Alex Jones, he is what he is. I mean, I would call Alex Jones paid by. I call him a gatekeeper. You know, he's never gonna. He likes the government, his brand, obviously, but I just call him a gatekeeper. He's not going to, he mixes in some truth but still maintaining the status quo.
It's always to maintain the concept of government. So, and when I was on the show, it was an absolute train wreck. The guy never, and I'm not saying it was exclusive to me because it's not. The guy never lets anybody talk. He, for my appearance, I don't know where I got less time to talk per minute was either on Alex Jones or on Coast to Coast, which is, to me, I haven't even been able to listen to that show, but that's let's get back to this. So I think I hopefully put to rest this garbage that I'm a Mason because of the G behind me. If this is an HD video, you could probably see it's right next to my wedding picture. So anyone who thinks I'm a Mason, get your head examined.
Hey, I wouldn't, even if you were, I wouldn't say that just negates anything you do or have done. So, I know Masons. I have to meet people in my family, so be it. I guess I'm paid opposition.
Ridiculous. Okay, so this toll by mail.
All right. So how would I deal with this? I'm sending out a letter. Basically, again, there's no police, there's no court, there's no judge, there's no DA. It's not a lead technically yet. Of course, they're threatening to take away my license, suspending your license and collection agency, blah blah blah. So basically, I'm just saying I'm closing payment for unpaid tolls by mail, and I'm disputing your late fees on the basis of, number one, I've been away from traveling around the U.S., as well as at my other home in Shanghai, China. Therefore, logic should dictate it was impossible for me to receive your tolls by mail.
So wait a minute. Let me see if I understand this correctly.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you real quick because we're probably not going to be able to get to another call anyway.
Okay.
You're telling me that New York wasn't crowded enough for you. So you had to step up and go to Shanghai?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well,
isn't that the most densely populated city in the world?
40 million, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's, yeah.
Wow, okay.
40 million on the book, and then you add another fucking 5 or, oh, sorry, it's a family show. 5 or 6, I don't know, million that are just, migrant workers and all. So yeah, we're probably pushing 50 million.
Okay, so to get back to, it sounds like the letter that you were describing is something that I would just affirm. I would say, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good way to go.
All right, because I have the whole thing, what evidence, but I don't think I need to because it's more of a kind of, you're looking at jurisdiction. I don't know if I want to get into that and really piss them off. So basically, I'm just saying, you understand the concept is they're trying to do this, tolls by mail. They take a photo of the plate and they send it to you in the mail. Which, okay, I mean, it's better than stopping at a toll booth and whatever. But what does one do when they're not home to receive old-fashioned snail mail? Like I said, I was gone. So, now they want to pay, and this was back in September. So, I mean, they basically want $400 for 3 months of lateness for $30. $400. Yeah, I'm not joking. $400.
Oh, hey, I'm from New York. I know how much these people. That's one of the big reasons I don't live in New York anymore. And I wanted to throw the money. I had to pay $56 to get over to Verrazano when I left. And I said, I hope you bastards choke on this money. I am never coming back to this pile of crap place again. And I've only been back a couple times. I think only once in 20 years.
Here's what I put. I think I'm going to leave. I have this already typed in this letter, in conjunction, what evidence, if any, do you have that the code, but it's because I'm physically to say. I think I might leave that out because I think that's like his courtroom. But what I have here is, in the spirit of discovery, what evidence do you have, if any, that proves I held any intent to engage in quote-unquote toll evasion or quote-unquote non-payment, as your letter suggests? I mean, it said you avoided a toll. Okay, it wasn't my intent, so I think I'll put that in there.
You can. I think the part that you weren't even in the U.S. at the time should be sufficient for any normal person.
No, I was here. I did use the toll, but I wasn't here to receive their little.
Yeah, I got that. I got that. You're not trying to get out of anything. You just weren't here to get your mail.
Okay, so forget the intent. I mean, I think I think to close it out with, how about this? In review, it's self-evident that your notice simply constitutes an assumption and does not provide sufficient facts, and seems like it's just an allegation and does not provide evidence to set forth any quote-unquote offense.
Well, you could just you could just give them softball at first. Give them the information. Say, now that you have a broader context of an understanding of what was going on, you can vacate these hundreds of dollars worth of late fees.
Seriously, the one is the Tappan Zee Bridge, $5 toll. They want 105 from this. This is back in September. So 3 months. Ooh, $100 did they get out of that? The other one was for the throughway. That was 25, and somehow that one they want $300 late fees. For $100 a month. These people are insane.
It's not enough. You have to even be in the area where the Tappan Zee Bridge is. They have to punish you even further by having such exorbitant fines. So that's what I would do. I would softball it at first and just say, here's more context. I wasn't even in the country to get my mail, so there's no evidence that I was trying to avoid paying. So I'll pay for the toll, but I'm not paying for the fines, the late fees.
Okay, so yeah, just stick with the. I wasn't in the couldn't see what they say. Okay, I got the checks already. I'll pay the toll, whatever. But I wasn't in the country to receive my mail. Pay your tolls by mail.
Yeah.
Friggin' moron.
Well, in California, you get a transponder, and they just bill you by mail, or so.
Well, I know that's what they're trying to push people to get the Easy Pass brand. I think that's a Northeast thing. I don't know if you guys have it out that way. You remember Easy Pass with the little logo. I don't think that's national, whatever.
Well, they have that in California. So, and if you ever driven down through Loma Linda on the 90, then you can see that. It's going to save you an awful lot of time if you do that. So you got to, do I want to get the transponder? And if you're traveling on through Loma Linda every day, it would definitely save you over an hour's worth of time.
I live up in central New York, so I don't use much. I'm in the Utica area, so I use regular roads. I don't have Easy Pass. I go to New York as little as freaking possible. Usually JFK to get out of this country and come back.
Sure, yeah, I understand. Hey, I appreciate the call, but I'm totally out of time, and so I got to let you go.
All right, good advice. I didn't know. Again, so I'll just stick with the dude. I wasn't in. Yeah. Yeah,
that's the way I would start it.
All right.
Well, let me know what happens.
Yeah, I will. And it's an interesting thing. There's just threatening letters for. Great. Take my license away for whatever. All right. Well, thanks. Talk to you later, buddy.
Appreciate it. Eric in New York, I am sorry I am not going to be able to go over today, but I do appreciate everyone tuning in to the show. Everybody, I would say, especially those new to the show, you got to look at things with a critical eye. You got to look at things that you can actually prove. There is absolutely no burden on me to prove whether I am or am not a Mason. If someone makes an accusation, then the burden is on them to provide the proof. Just because I may not, if I may exercise, discretion and not say anything, that is not evidence against me. We're not supposed to ever talk to the police. Why? Because they have the burden of proof. So this crap about whether I'm a Mason or not is so crap. It is so stupid. Even if I was a Mason, how would that affect the material that I'm putting out? Would that, what you say that now there's a cloud on the documents that I present, that the people who call in are all fake? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. I'm almost inclined to have this damn camera zoom in on that thing so you can see the flowers on it. It's so stupid. So unbelievably stupid. What do you do? I'm totally out of time for episode 45 of the No State Project here for December 13, 2017, live from the fortified compound in Mesa, Arizona. I appreciate everyone's calls. Whoever I missed today, I will definitely be live on the Saturday broadcast, the LRN.FM broadcast, the Liberty Radio Network. And so that's another 3 hours of Anarchy Radio, so you can call in the same call-in numbers as we got here for the big No State Project broadcast that's commercial free. Definitely for the conspiratorial, get a better view of the G so that you can laugh at those who would suggest it was a Mason. But hey, had a good time. We'll have a lot of good graphics for this particular broadcast also, so look for that on my YouTube channel, which is No State Project, and also posted at markstevens.net. And if you're being attacked by a bureaucrat, you need to learn how to effectively defend yourself, definitely check out the No State Project and the rest of the articles and information we have at the markstevens.net. And I'm Marc Stevens, so let's say that till next Wednesday when we're live again. Salud.